We're going to try to knock this out in 10 minutes. Do you like to fold clothes? Because this video is for people that do not like to fold clothes. It was a week or two ago, my colleague was talking with me about robotics, one of his concepts on making a robot that folds your clothes for you. And from that discussion, I remembered there are still people out there folding clothes, and we don't have time for that. So here's a method that you don't have to do such a thing anymore. I guess you could call this the design of a closet. First thing is that switch doesn't always work because the light stays on. It turns on automatically with this little light sensing device. They're only $10 or so, and you can install it anywhere. And so now we walk into the closet and the light turns on automatically. Okay, so what am I doing with the clothes if I'm not folding them? The shirts, t-shirts, go on hangers right out of the laundry, no wrinkles. And then the collar shirts go on these a little bit thicker hangers because they have this radius, less likely to put a crease in them, and a little bit heavier for stronger for heavier shirts. Okay, since every single shirt has a hanger and every hanger has a shirt, that means if I see too many of these empty hangers, it's time to do laundry somewhat automatically. And I don't need to arrange things very often because it sort of just sorts itself out when you color code. Okay, then pants also have a dedicated hanger. These wooden ones have a rod that won't bend over time, and they'll hold up to the weight of the pants. You'll note there's not very many because if they start to wear out, they go out and they don't stay. Then immediately you should notice this is not a normal closet rod. This one actually is EMT conduit. So after we start taking a whole dresser full of clothes and loading it, we find out that a regular closet rod probably will bend, and it might even pop out of its corner there. And so this one is okay, but I recommend that you go from this 1-inch EMT conduit up to a fence post. It is 33.4 millimeters, and it still fits all of the devices that you may want to put on hangers ordinarily. Oh, that's right, I was testing this out, and so I wrote down the diameter here. And then on the opposing side, we have the fence post. This one also has a nicer surface finish, a little bit smoother, so it's galvanized, it's not going to rust. You can easily paint that directly if you want to. 33.4 millimeters. And that brings us to these hanging modules. I put all of these smaller garments that usually go in a drawer into these vertical tubes, so then they become FIFO, first in, first out. And I have a black pair of socks just by tugging on the last one on the bottom. And when they're clean, they get dropped into the top. And you can build this. You can see copper wire here and an insulated copper wire here. I didn't decide finally how to build these. There's many different ways, and this is a 10-inch PVC, or you could also use cardboard to make these because it doesn't have to bear all that much load. The string at the bottom goes through in at least 3 points, and then that creates an obstruction so the stuff doesn't fall through. This bracket is called Hook on GrabCAD. It's open source, and it fits on any closet rod. This is really the maximum because then it begins to snap, but it'll hold lots of weight, even I think up to 30 pounds. And the orientation has proven to be the best orientation for me. So if I want to hang a duffel or something, this rod actually is closer to the wall. Then it can hang long ways and leave me the most space because this rod is strong enough for however much stuff I can hang on it. You may have noticed this rod is closer to the wall than when I moved in because I've relocated it. All the equipment on this side doesn't need that much space compared with the hanger, and so I moved it back actually to let more light drop down into more spaces from overhead, because lighting being limited is a really big thing in closets. It's hard to get light where you want so you can see your equipment. So this item that's being used all the time, It's printed with my default settings at a coarse 3.3 millimeters layer height, 30% infill, and regular ABS plastic. It is not designed to deflect like this one was. This was looking for the most lightweight, rapid print to put something together, and it's good for hanging something like a hat if you want to be able to see all of your hats in a row and not spend as much on printing. Or a tie. I guess this one's good for ties. In any case, if you do need a hanger over on the side that you've made close to the wall, then it's good to use this type of hanger because it allows you to rotate. And so there's clearance here, and I've segregated this shirt and pants because this is for mowing the grass. And if I just mow the grass a little bit, it starts to rain. I don't want to wash this thing every time I mow the grass and handle the debris that might fall everywhere. So I just brush off these clothes from the lawn and then bring them right here to hang, and they don't contact the other clothes and get these grass particles everywhere. Then we have a mirror here. That mirror isn't just for seeing who's handsome, it's also to duplicate the light. This one makes another big impact on the lighting in here, and it brings the light from the ceiling over to here in another direction. And just once again, I've really appreciated that since putting it in there. Only a few bucks. And of course, you'll notice the color choice is white, a matte white if possible, because that also enhances the lighting in here. Okay, then shorts. I also don't want to take shorts and do any folding, so these get rolled up and they get wrapped with a band so they're stuck in there. Of course, you don't need to add any bands, but with this scrunchie or hairband, whatever, then if I need to pack and travel somewhere, it's very rapid to keep the things together, see what's being packed, and move quickly without unfolding things. I've had, I don't know, 30% of my travel stuff wind up not being used and have to come from the luggage back into here, and it never even has to come undone. So that's really nice. Then the spare bands just stay on the wall right here, so they're ready to go. I think probably the only way to have this much space is to operate seasonally, and so the winter shirts and pants have already gone into storage. They go in these fabric bins, and then you can label them with whatever piece of paper that you want and a clip, or I'm tempted to use Velcro here and stick a Velcro thing there. And you can store them this way, of course. I guess you won't find my winter things here right now because once they are in the box, it's easy to relocate them. And then when you have another closet in the home, you can move stuff out of your way so that the space that you have is usable. I'm saying that if you choose one type of storage bin, then you have interchangeable spots for them throughout the house, and you can move them as needed without losing track of things. You may notice this sweep I've modified the door so that it hangs very close to the floor, and that means that I can close this door and the HVAC does not need to chill or heat that closet. That's maybe 5%, 2% of the house, and it's in direct sunlight, and so the closet bakes, and if I don't need to heat up that space, then that lowers the AC bill, and you might consider that as well. And lastly, you may notice that the floor is clear because we don't want things on the floor. I don't want to sweep in here. The Roomba can sweep in here. And then so stuff like this. Why do I have a vacuum? Well, because I have too many vacuums. These are free. They come on the curb, and usually they just work. And so this one works in the bedroom as needed if there's anything the Roomba can't get. And then we have darks and whites so that the laundry can go straight in when there's a change. So in my world, needless to say, dressers don't exist. I have more floor space in the home and in the bedroom. There are more spaces that the Roomba can take care of automatically, and it's easier. That's a lot easier. I would recommend it. I think that we need to implement all those types of systems in our everyday lives if we ever want to have robots doing tasks in the home and we want them to be sensible. First, we have to take the actions to make things structured. We have to do the sensible small steps first. To tie together this content with the rest of my content, I'm talking about mechanical design frequently, open source design. I want good ideas to get spread. Hopefully some good ideas came out of this. And then documentation sits behind it. So if you want to copy something that I've done, you can find it in the store off the shelf, or you can find it downloadable on GrabCAD and 3D printable. And if you are one of those mechanical engineers out there, any kind of engineer, and you're working on building a design skill set, you can maybe get some ideas from this, go into your own life and find problems, anything that inconveniences you or that you don't want to do. And when you attempt to make solutions for that, sometimes it's just a method. It's not even, there's no physical matter to be changed, but you can update your method. You will find that creating some physical item might enhance the outcome after that. And you can save so much time. So the same materials that I'm using inside the lab and for robotics creations are the same materials that I've used to enhance my closet, make my life more convenient, and the same methods to design those things. Let's make the world better. Take care now.